fantastic.
The fight clock is brought to you by Logan.
All right, so today in the world of celebrity boxing, which gets dumber and dumber by the day, another ridiculous moment where Floyd Mayweather and the Money Team crew beat the living hell out of Jake Paul, which is always a win. If you haven't seen it, we're going to show you the video right now. Why don't you bring that up? I just love, I could watch this kind of stuff all day. It's just fantastic.
Anything Jake Paul does that's idiotic and.
Oh, you started too early. Bring it back.
Too early. Too late?
Bring it back just all the way to the beginning.
All the way to the beginning.
So there's Jake. I got your hat.
What a 10-year-old, dude. Got your hat. Got your nose. Haha. What if he did that with Floyd Mayweather? Got your nose.
Yeah, he's a real boxer. He's been talking about no real boxers want to fight him.
The day Jake Paul fights a real boxer.
This is my favorite part right here. Logan's going to come in. There's Logan. Oh, no, Logan hasn't came in yet. There he is. Hey, why don't you stop that? That's my little brother.
No, honestly, Logan probably saw people beating on Jake, and he probably went up there and joined him.
Hey, you're taking my clout. And there you. All right, so stop. Let's stop it. All right, so if you have no idea what's going on, Logan Paul is boxing Floyd Mayweather in an exhibition. June 6th, I believe. And this was the first press conference. And during the press conference, Floyd said that he would fight Logan and Jake in the same night. Now, being upset that his bigger brother was getting more attention than he was, he ran up to Floyd at the, I guess, press part of the function, ran up to Floyd and said, hey, you really want to do it? Let's sign the paperwork. And Floyd said, okay. And since I guess Jake didn't know that that's how it was going to go, he ripped Floyd Mayweather's hat off his head, and then Floyd Mayweather's security and Floyd Mayweather beat the hell out of him. Elijah, what do you think about that, man? How is this going to go?
So, I've been a professional YouTube watcher for years.
And was that the dumbest thing you've ever seen?
I've seen Jake Paul and his brother do some stupid stuff, whether it's in America or Japan. And did you know about Logan in Japan, right?
I do know about Logan in Japan.
That was entertaining at best.
It just seems like these guys are always, and I know they are because they're fame hungry, but they're constantly looking for reasons just to be in the news, which I guess is okay. Like, I love Jake Paul because he was going to start a cryptocurrency. Now he's into NFTs. He started a YouTube school, I guess, or something. He was rapping, and now he's boxing. It's just a flavor of the week. Whatever he washes out on, he goes to the next thing.
He's feeding off of the stupid people on the internet, you know?
Or the 12-year-olds.
Exactly. The stupid 12-year-olds. Yeah, and like, you know, they kind of take to the extreme that whole like any press is good press, or like, you know, I don't remember what the saying is, but basically
any press is good press.
Yeah, something to that extent, and they're making a lot of money off of it. But like Jake, like just in that one example, like he wanted some attention, he wanted to kind of show like I can fight you or something. I'm tough. Yeah, I don't even know. But does he not know that like their managers like do the contracts? He goes up to Floyd and he's like, "Let's do this, man. Sign right. Got your hat." Just kidding. Like,
here's my favorite thing about Jake Paul is that he's been wanting for so long to be taken seriously, allegedly as a real boxer. Because this is a fight channel. I just don't want to bash on Jake Paul because, you know, the internet does that enough. So yeah, this is Jake Paul's, I guess, if Floyd's serious, which I don't know why Floyd wouldn't be serious.
Yeah, he could easily take him.
Take both of them, you know, in one night. Not at the same time, of course. But, you know, I don't think either brother has a chance to beat Floyd. Because we saw how Logan did in his first match against KSI. It was a draw. And neither of those guys could box. And then we saw in his second fight, he lost to KSI. And so Floyd Mayweather is a few notches above, would you not say, against
At least a few.
KSI. And then, Jake's only fought scrubs too. So this was his first real chance to get in front of a boxer. Like, one of the greatest boxers of all time. And what did he do? He said, "I got your hat." This is a guy who...
Famous last words, right?
Yeah, clearly it was because he was dragged around. So the fact that, he's dodging all these actual boxers and fighters at this point. Yeah. Okay, you beat Ben Askren in what was probably a terrible stoppage. I think everyone would agree. Mm-hmm. But now Tyron Woodley is calling you out, Jake. You got Chris Lieben is calling you out. You got Tyson Fury's son is calling you out, Tommy Fury. You've got Tyron Woodley. You've got Dylan Dennis. All these actual fighters are calling you out. You're in front of Floyd Mayweather, and your big statement is, "I got your hat." And then running off, and then getting pummeled by the money team security.
Yeah.
To me, this is what this shows, and I'll let you weigh in a second. This is what this shows. He's not serious about boxing. This is all a money grab. And everything in Jake Paul's life is just, rapping didn't work out. We'll try YouTubing. We'll try vining. We'll try whatever. Mm-hmm. And now he's on to boxing, and he doesn't want to fight any real boxers or MMA guys with real hands. Because Ben Askren's big knock, he was a wrestler. He wasn't a striker.
Right.
And now he has a chance to get in front of Floyd Mayweather, and he's playing these stupid games. Jake, you're not, and this is the thing. Jake Paul says he's punking the MMA community, which I consider kind of, a fan. I partake in MMA. But he's a joke. We're not afraid of him. We want him to get knocked out. So get in the octagon or get in the ring with someone. Mm-hmm. But then actually fight them. Don't, I got your hat. It's just so dumb, man. What do you think?
I think his little ass grab that we saw before is a perfect. He's doing the same thing here, but also I was going to say, you're an older brother, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like there's stages of anger for an older brother, and this isn't like Logan and Jake's relationship. I'm talking about the MMA community and Jake and Logan. Because it's like when you have a little brother and they're doing something stupid and annoying, at first you ignore them. Like everyone just kind of ignored Jake and Logan, and then they're building up more attention, and that's when people are like, okay, F you, and they're actually spitting something at them and considering them, and now they have beef with people, and then at some point you end up just whacking your little brother across the face because he won't he won't stop doing whatever it is that's annoying. And so I think Jake and Logan are at this point where they've gotten attention of people, and they're gonna start, like you said, they have people calling them out and saying stuff like, "Hey, we'll take you," Even Mayweather's I'll take both of you guys, and honestly, they're just gonna get beaten down to nothing, and people will be like, "Yeah, they're in the MMA, but they never win,"
Yeah, I mean, here's how I feel, and I get really disappointed in the MMA community because I think people in MMA are the dumbest, most emotional people in the world.
Hey, because we have an audience. Come on.
Yeah, well, I mean, but it's true. The fighters are so emotional, and I guess you kind of have to have a weird chip on your shoulder and an emotional edge to get in there and want to fight someone. But here's the issue I'm having is that these two guys should not be there. I get Floyd. Floyd's the money team. He sees this as a money opportunity, a business opportunity. Floyd, make your money. I don't care. But, Daniel Cormier getting in Jake Paul's face, that just makes Daniel Cormier look bad.
Yeah.
That, Tyron Woodley on Instagram, I'll knock you out. It makes you look bad because this guy should not be here. Yeah. If this guy gets in the octagon, just, we know he's a boxer. But if he gets in the octagon with any of these guys, he's getting murked. Mm-hmm. They're mopping up his body with a mop. It's foolishness on top of foolishness. And I wish that the MMA guys would just leave this guy alone. Because he's doing exactly, in my opinion, he's doing exactly what he wants them to do. He's just trolling them
to
keep his name in the news.
Mm-hmm.
So the next scrub he fights, which he's going to handpick, of course, he'll look even better because you'll have Cormier, Tyron Woodley, 2 champions, 2 of the greatest of all time, and all these other guys. Dana White says in the last fight, he said he bet $1 million on it. It's just for the pub. It's just for the clout, and it's getting really dumb. Yeah. So I'm happy that, Floyd Mayweather of all people and his team beat the crap out of him today because he had it coming. You're right. You gotta sun some of these guys, and that's exactly what you saw.
Yeah.
I also love that Logan jumped in at the end and got ragdolled too.
Yeah.
Like, Logan, what are you gonna do?
Yeah. Yeah. No, definitely. And it's funny because you see Jake Paul, his track record is like you mentioned before. He's a Viner, and then Vine died, and he tried rapping through YouTube, and then he just became a YouTuber. All of those, which he made a good amount of money off of. The rapping wasn't very successful. The YouTube started to die, and he started teaching lessons on how to become a YouTuber, which was the funniest thing. And there's a whole bunch of different commentaries on and reviews.
We forgot Disney. He was on Disney.
Oh yeah,
he was on Disney.
That's how he started his reputation in like Vine and YouTube. He's like, you may know me as that kid who was on one Disney episode, and everyone's like, I guess he was on Disney, But going from like those are like different stages, and like when he did like the training lessons or whatever for becoming a YouTuber, that was a complete fraud. First of all, he got millions of kids to pay $5 for a course. There were even different levels. It got up to like $100 or $200 for certain like content on his so-called course, and then now he's kind of stopping everything to go into fighting. And there's some like more. When he's not in front of crowds, more almost personal interviews where he's like, no, I'm taking this seriously and I want to pursue it. And like,
he's the problem child.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I always lived in my big brother's shadow. Like, Yeah. And so like, he seems like a little more like intimate about it, but you can tell just from his just like lack of discipline and acting like an adult, like he's still a kid. Yeah. He dropped out of high school.
I mean, what I do got to give these guys is this, and I'll give this to Logan as well as Jake, is they're chameleons. These guys should have died off. No, they are, but they are. They should have died off years ago when Vine ended, but then they've picked up vlog. Like, they've done all these things to stay relevant. I mean, they've pretty much pioneered the celebrity boxing thing. No one cared about celebrity boxing. I mean, celebrity boxing's been around forever. Right. But they're actually making something of it. I mean, I'm dumb. I bought the Triller fight. Yeah. And I lost brain cells because of it. So, I want to say this about these guys. I want to give these guys this much credit. Mm-hmm. Either they're incredibly smart and know exactly what they're doing, or they're idiots and they're going to get themselves killed and they're in way over their head. I think Logan is smarter than Jake. Yeah. Because at least the guy he's fighting is a defensive fighter, and Floyd's very technical,
Yeah, they're picking their fights for sure. But they're like, I'm assuming Jake's mindset is like, obviously I'm never going to become a pro at this, but no. Like, I'm definitely going to be able to make some money. But, and this is what he did with like all the fields he dove into, like the whole like, learning course that he made. He knew that wasn't going to be successful, but he was going to make some quick cash off of it. If he has that same mindset going into this world, he doesn't understand that there's a violent community behind it that will tear him to shreds, literally, like find his family in his house type thing.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, he talks a big game. I don't think he talks a good game, but he talks a big game. Yeah. And the issue is that we've seen this stuff. We've seen Masvidal, who's actually kind of friendly with Jake. Mm-hmm. Fight guys behind the scenes. We've seen Mike Perry fight guys behind the scenes. We've seen Covington. We've seen all these guys fight behind the scenes. And so he could be in a lot of danger if this doesn't go right for him. And I'll just end what I'm going to say here is that congratulations, Jake. You win. Because you got 2 guys who can't stand you, and once you get knocked out, talking about you. And that's what he wants.
Oh, he's got more than 2 guys.
He's got a lot more than 2 guys, but at least there's 2 guys right here. Yeah. And unfortunately, what's even worse? We know we're doing it. Yeah. And we lose.
Yeah. Oh, well. And it's funny because like like you were talking about with these like the violent community, he's like dancing around in when he was doing rapping. If he pushed a little further with that and he started some beef with like actual gangsters, like actual people who like rap and like talk about how they like murdered
the
people. The streets, like
have the game go and just beat him up.
Yeah, that dude. That's probably why he stopped.
Anyway, let's get some predictions real quick because we got to get going. Let's just have some fun. If Floyd fights both of them in one night in succession, who wins?
I think Floyd may have been exaggerating.
He's definitely exaggerating.
Obviously.
Let's just have some fun.
But let's have some fun. I think it depends on who he does first. Because Logan's a bigger guy than Jake. He's
much bigger.
Yep. Logan's going to do a little bit more damage. But I think if he beats either of them, it'll be Jake. And then if he's not too wiped out, he'll finish off Logan. He could. I think he could. I think it would just be exhausting and definitely exaggeration of just in one day.
Yeah, I think he would knock out Logan. I think by that time he'd be tired.
Mm-hmm.
I still think he'd win, but he might just coast and get a decision on Paul. He wins either way.
He can't have a record saying he lost to Jake.
Oh, I didn't say he'd lose. I said he'd win. I just don't think he would knock him out.
Yeah, okay.
And here's the only reason why. Because I know Jake is a far better boxer than Logan.
Oh yeah.
I've never boxed, and I would love to get in the ring with Logan because I would not be afraid at all.
Yeah. No,
but anyway, we're gonna end it right there for Fifth Round Productions. I am Ruben. This is
Eli.
Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe and all that other dumb YouTube stuff. We'll see you guys later.